We're getting ready for the next City Council meeting here in Farmers Branch, set for 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, from Farmers Branch City Hall. This is Council Countdown on FBTV. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jeff Brady. During the next few minutes here, we're going to review the City Council agenda for that upcoming meeting and hopefully provide just a little context. First, after a report on study session, members of our council will consider just 3 items on the consent portion of the agenda. Agenda item I.1 is to consider approving the minutes for the joint City Council and Planning and Zoning meeting held on July 12th and the City Council regular meeting held July 13th. Agenda item I.2 is to consider approving a resolution awarding a contract to the Decor Group for installation of Christmas decorations. As you may know, the city currently utilizes a contractor to install lights in numerous locations and facilities throughout the city. Over the last year, City Council has requested that our Parks and Recreation Department offer additional lighting and decor options in varying locations throughout the city to add to the current elements already in place. So our staff presented various options to City Council at the April 6, 2021 meeting, and City Council selected the holiday lighting plan that included the rental of knitted ornamental balls in multiple Farmers Branch locations, lights in the Rose Garden, holiday photo op frame at the outdoor ice rink, and the purchase of a new artificial Christmas tree that will now become a focal point inside the Grove. All items would be professionally installed and removed by the Decor Group. City administration recommends approving this resolution. And agenda item I.3 is to consider approving a resolution authorizing a contract to Freeze and Nichols Incorporated to perform an AWIA emergency response plan for the city wastewater system. Now, every water and wastewater utility that serves more than 3,000 people must complete this whole process no later than December 31st of this year. The Public Works Department negotiated a professional services agreement with Freeze and Nichols to perform an America's Water Infrastructure Act emergency response plan as required. Currently, the vendor is preparing a risk and resilience assessments for our community water system, and within 6 months of completion and certification of the assessment, a letter of certification must be submitted to the EPA stating that an emergency response plan has been developed or updated. The Public Works Department has negotiated a professional services agreement with Freeze and Nichols Incorporated for the performance of this AWIA emergency response plan in the amount of $70,000, and our city administration recommends approving this resolution. And that is it for the consent agenda. And here are the other items coming up before the council on their regular agenda. Agenda item J.1 is to conduct a public hearing and consider adopting an ordinance amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance related to development standards for outdoor seating areas. Agenda item J.2 is to conduct a public hearing and consider approving a resolution nominating Copart Incorporated to the Governor's Office of Economic Development and Tourism through the Economic Development Bank as an enterprise project. Agenda item K.1 is to consider adopting an ordinance amending in its entirety Chapter 56 Property Maintenance of the Code Ordinances related to the regulation of the condition and maintenance of real property within the city and repealing several articles and sections. And here to explain some of these changes in the city's code enforcement is Leo Bonanno, Code Enforcement Manager for the City of Farmers Branch. So Leo, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So this is the culmination of truly a long process for the city and specifically your department.
Yes,
right?
yes it is.
So what would you say has been the purpose of this process?
Well, every city, as we know, has a set of codes and ordinances that our citizens and visitors are expected to follow. They also guide us in various ways. And unfortunately, the property maintenance code that we've looked at this year proved to be very out of date. It needed to be upgraded, it needed to be rewritten to make it easier to read and follow for the average person. And so a lot of our work, and specifically my work, has been to make the code more readable, more friendly in terms of finding information for the public and for staff, things like that.
So what, in your opinion, has been the most important change, if you can condense it down to one topic?
I would probably say that I think that all of the we've made a lot of improvements over every topic that the property maintenance code covers. I think that the biggest accomplishment we've made here is that the code now reflects what this current community at this date and time really wants to see. A task force of citizens helped create the ordinance that we're hoping that, to be passed.
Right.
And so we really had a lot of public input, and we're hoping to show that in this new ordinance.
Well, and that was my next question. These are not all just Leo's ideas, right?
No, they're not. No, earlier this year, Mayor Dye created the Code Enforcement Task Force, and I sat with about 10 citizens chosen by council members, as well as 2 former council members and a representative from the city manager's office. And we spent about 13 hours going over every section of the current property maintenance code and some offshoots of it. And my purpose in that process was to help guide and facilitate discussions and then collect feedback and suggestions from that group of people, from actual citizens of Farmers Branch. So those that have been keeping up with this project and seeing me speak at various meetings may have the impression that all of these suggestions are actually mine. But in honesty, the hard work that was done was actually by the citizens in that Code Enforcement Task Force.
Sure. And at the end of the day, what is it you want people to know about this process and about what you'll be presenting to council on Tuesday?
I would like to make sure that residents of Farmers Branch know that the code that is up for debate and hopefully approval at the August 3rd meeting is the culmination of work not just by my office, but by the council, the task force, the legal representatives we used to help us. This really was a team effort, and what we've ended up with is what I believe to be a good reflection of the current values of this community. The update that's taking place really does seem to be what the citizens of Farmers Branch want, or a majority of them. And in the end, the laws do exist to serve the community in one way or another.
Okay. Well, great. Leo Bonanno, thank you so much for joining us and helping to clarify the issues around code enforcement.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And to continue with the agenda item K.2 is to consider a board and commission appointment for the Arts and Culture Committee. And in addition, as you may know, the council may recess into closed session, but then will reconvene into regular session to take any necessary action. For more information on those items or the full agenda for Tuesday night, log on at farmersbranchtx.gov, and that'll do it for the August 3rd agenda. Every regular meeting of the Farmers Branch City Council can be seen live here on FBTV. That is Spectrum Channel 16 in Farmers Branch, AT&T UVerse Channel 99 throughout the Metroplex, or even online at farmersbranchtx.gov. This meeting will also be streamed live on Vimeo and our YouTube channel. This program will be made available simultaneous to agenda posting on the Friday before each regular City Council meeting and will air prior to the live meeting as well as before all council meeting replays here on FBTV. And that replay schedule is 6 p.m. 7 days a week. In the meantime, that August 3rd meeting of the City Council is scheduled to start at 6 p.m. this Tuesday evening at Farmers Branch City Hall. Please note that all meetings are subject to change, so check the city's website for updates or call us at 972-247-3131 for more information. Until then, I'm Jeff Brady. You're watching continuing coverage of the Farmers Branch City Council here on FBTV. Please stay with us.